A homeless Seattle landlord whose tenant stopped paying rent and put his unit up on Airbnb is finally getting some help. But the help is not enough. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. Are you an aspiring landlord looking to buy your first rental property? Or perhaps you're a small real estate investor with one or two properties and you're trying to move up to the next level. You could use consulting, and I'm offering consulting here through Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. If you're interested, please send me an email at tony@northomahainvestments.com. All right, so I have an interesting update to an article I covered just a couple of weeks ago about a landlord up in Seattle who is facing homelessness due to a tenant who just stopped paying rent by pretending to be low income. And then guess what they did? They put the unit up on Airbnb, right? So it's a big problem, big problem. The tenant's a scammer. The tenant screwed this landlord over, and the landlord is facing the consequences of not having anywhere to live. And this is absolutely horrible, okay? This is the kind of thing I expect out of a place out of like Seattle. Okay, Seattle is one of the most left-leaning, most progressive. Well, I don't know what their definition of progressive is, but to me, it is socialist. Okay, so one of the most socialist places in the entire country. And they treat property owners, they treat landlords like garbage there. And I wouldn't invest there. I wouldn't, even if I somehow thought, like, don't become an accidental landlord. You don't have to be an accidental landlord. Okay, don't rent the place out because you're going to face all sorts of consequences if you get caught up in these anti-landlord laws. You will. Okay, you won't be able to get rid of these tenants, or you might have to pay them to leave. And that's not the kind of thing that you're going to want to do. You could be taking a loss for a long, long time. Yes, there is magnificent appreciation there, but here's the thing: if there's that good of appreciation there, then why not just sell the property? Why hold on to it and then face this sort of risk, the risk of this sort of thing happening to you? Okay, this is just a warning to the people who think, oh, well, I'm gonna go buy a new house and then turn my old place into a rental. Well, that might not be the best idea in Seattle. Okay, so before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. Maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, okay? Would you buy a rental property within Seattle, Washington? Or, let's just say an investment property. Would you flip a property within Seattle, Washington? I personally wouldn't do either. Part of it is just because I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money, to purchase these very, very expensive properties within a place like Seattle. And, I'm not broke. I'm not poor. Okay. I have quite a few properties of my own that I was able to buy here. But buying something up there it's on a different level. It takes a lot more money. It takes a lot more, means in order to operate a rental property business there. And then you got to face all of the laws, the rules, the regulations, the people who hate you, the out of control crime, the city not enforcing the laws against vandalism and vagrancy, etc. It's just, is it worth it? And I don't think so. I don't think so for mom and pops. Now, if you're a big, landlord with hundreds of millions of dollars and you can navigate the system and you've got lawyers and, everybody to help you, maybe, but even then it might be more of a flip thing than actually being a landlord. But anyway, let's get into the article because, it's an interesting update. This article is coming from mynorthwest.com and it says, gross. Seattle landlord secures a key win against the nightmare tenant. And they say the landlord secured a win. It's not exactly a win. The win would be the tenant is out of the place. The landlord got paid the money that they were owed back, and the landlord was no longer homeless. But none of those things happened, and they still say it's a win. But anyway, let's get into the article and see what it says. A nightmare tenant who forced a small Seattle landlord into homelessness just got a wake-up call, thanks to a Republican state representative, as the tenant just lost access to Airbnb, which he was allegedly using to make money off the property without paying rent. Landlord Jason Roth listed his Seattle residence as a rental property, but he claimed his tenant faked being low income to avoid paying rent. Despite attempts to come to a settlement amicably, Roth says he was ignored. But when he found out the tenant was listing the property on Airbnb without permission while making a profit, he was outraged and looking for help from the Jason Rantz show on KTTH. Now, pay attention what it said in the first paragraph. It said it was a Republican state representative. Okay? Now, keep in mind that, I usually don't talk a lot about politics on here, right? Yes, I'm against socialism, but I don't see any reason why anyone, no matter what political party you're in, should be for socialism. Okay? But why is it that one political party is always fighting for property rights and the other political party doesn't believe that we should have any property rights? Maybe we should think about that sort of thing. State Representative Chris Corey, Republican from Yakima, happened to listen to Roth's interview on the Jason Rantz show and immediately thought he could help as Airbnb has advocates at the state legislature. So he did some groundwork with Roth to bring this to Airbnb's attention. We gave them the listing to the contact information, all the details, Corey told the Jason Rantz show. I went in and got the King County parcel data before I even went over there just to confirm what was going on. And obviously, once we got that information to them, they said, we'll look into it. And then I got a call Monday morning and they said, yep, we've taken it down. This should not have happened. So, yeah, we have a tenant who was not paying rent to a landlord, right? Pushing that landlord into homelessness. And then on top of that, they listed the property on Airbnb without the landlord's permission and started making a profit. Now, that is just garbage, scam, BS, okay? And, this is the kind of tenant who deserves to be evicted immediately. But, oh no, we have to make sure that this person has protections. Person wasn't even living there. They had the place listed on Airbnb. What a joke, okay? Complete farce. And yet, you still have to go through the same legal process. Give me a break, okay? There should be a way to get these tenants out of there and much quicker in cases like this, but there's not. And unfortunately, in a place like Seattle, there's never going to be. Instead, the landlord will probably have to pay out of pocket tens of thousands of dollars to force this tenant out of there. Well, force. Yeah, the tenant will gladly leave once they have their pocket full of money, okay? And in terms of this being a win, it's not a win. Okay, well, the tenant isn't able to list the property on Airbnb anymore. Well, maybe they will list it on some of the other vacation rental platforms. Okay. Or maybe they'll just sublease it, do a long term sublease. And, it's a lose. It's a losing situation for the landlord because the tenant is still up in the property. The eviction has not happened. The landlord has not been paid rent. And, it's such a small victory that it's not even worth mentioning. It's a weird thing that they thought this was worth updating. Okay, I feel for this landlord because this is the sort of ridiculousness you get. I understand that the politician can't do much, but the politician needs to be talking about the real issue here, and it isn't Airbnb. The listing was pulled August 7th. Roth said he appreciated the personal touch from a state representative who doesn't even represent him in the legislature. Representative Corey called me, which was incredible, Roth told the Jason Rantz show, because I got a couple of emails from certain people, expressing their concern, wanting to help. But he actually gave me a phone call, which was awesome. Roth said he dealt with constant bureaucratic gymnastics while trying to reach out to his socialist council member, Tammy Morales. He went to her because he felt the city was disinterested in helping landlords being taken advantage of, but her office didn't help. So the council member that represents him, right, is a socialist and didn't even want to talk to him. Screw him basically because you know what? Oh, he's a landlord. He's rich. He's part of the problem. So screw him. That's what these socialists believe. Like I said, you really, really have to be careful when you're deciding where to live, when you're deciding where to invest, etc. If you do you think this guy would have invested and made a rental property in an area where he knew beforehand that socialist was the representative, a socialist, a person who proudly declares that They want socialism. I mean, I wouldn't have moved into that area. I wouldn't have put a rental property there. That's just dumb. Okay, but a lot of people, they don't research this sort of thing. I'll give him a break on that because a lot of people don't research the politicians in their areas before they move in or before they decide to invest there. They just go there and they hope for the best. Oh well, you know what? It didn't work out this time. The war isn't over, however. The tenant remains in the home, and Roth is facing long delays getting potential eviction hearings scheduled due to backlogs in the court system. I'm still waiting on the actual date the hearing would be if I do have to go through the formal eviction, Roth said, and that's likely to be a month out, like the end of October or even into November. So now we're pushing this guy into late October, November. I mean, it's August right now, okay? This guy's already homeless. Can the situation get any worse? Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. I bring this kind of story to you because, simply put, no landlord should have to go through this sort of stuff. Okay, it's a warning. It's a warning for what they're trying to bring to cities and states throughout the entire country. This is what they want. Okay, they want to put us all into this sort of position. We have to fight against it because I don't want to end up homeless so that some tenant can make a profit off of my property.